Our Lady of Sorrows, which sets the stage for the walk along the way of the cross. The Gospel tells us that Mary stood at the foot of the cross when Jesus died. Thus, we can assume that she was present at the other scenes depicted by the stations. Mary suffered as only as a mother could suffer when she saw her son in agony. Saint Francis of Assisi. Francis was born in 1181 or 1182. His father was a rich cloth merchant, and so Francis lived the life of a rich young kid. But he underwent a conversion and gave all his riches away. He tried to live humbly and poorly as Jesus did. He soon attracted followers and began a religious group, later known as the Franciscans. Francis went on a crusade and saw the holy places in Palestine. This caused him to have a very special devotion to the humanity of Jesus, especially his birth, passion, and death. Here we have an artist's conception of how fully Francis embraced Christ in his passion and how tenderly Christ loves those who follow him. The agony in the garden is not one of the stations, but is a good prelude to reflecting on the sufferings of Jesus. After the Last Supper, Jesus with his apostles went to the Garden of Gethsemane. There he prayed, "Father, if it's your will, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done." After he prayed for 3 hours in this fashion, an angel appeared to him from heaven to strengthen him. Luke 22:42-43. Evidently, they do the stations every last Friday of the month. I thought it was only for Good Friday, but evidently it's every last Friday of the month until weather permitting. Note that on top of each station is a wooden cross. It's embedded in the cement Celtic cross. The circle around the Celtic cross is a symbol of eternity and unity. The Celtic cross had its origins in Ireland. A puzzling question is how the Celtic cross came to be placed over the statues that had been manufactured in Germany. I think these are in German as well as English. Jesus is condemned to death. First station. So Pilate, who wished to satisfy the crowd, released Barabbas to them, and after he had Jesus scourged, he handed him over to be crucified. Mark 15:15. Second station. Jesus was led away and carrying the cross by himself, went out to what is called the place of the skull, in Hebrew Golgotha, John 19:16-17. Note, it was the practice for the condemned criminal to carry the crossbar on his shoulders. The upright of the cross was probably permanently fixed at the site of execution. Third station. The Gospels make no reference to the falls of Jesus, but after the scourging, Jesus was in a weakened condition, and carrying the crossbeam, spread eagle, made it almost impossible to keep one's balance. Thus, we can assume that Jesus fell many times. I thought it did, and that's why he came in. Got help. Fourth station. The Gospels make no specific reference to Jesus meeting his mother along the way to Calvary, but she was at the foot of the cross after the crucifixion, so it seems likely that she saw him and met him along the way. It's called the Lord's Grotto. I like that in the grotto area there's hearts. There's a lot of hearts. The Lord's Grotto. In February 1858, the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared to Bernadette Cerberus. I'll take a picture of it after. And two friends as they were gathering wood on the outskirts of Lourdes, France. As they passed by the grotto, or natural cavity in a rocky cliff, a beautiful woman appeared to Bernadette. These apparitions took place over a period of 3 months. At the woman's bidding, Bernadette dug in the earth and a spring began to flow, which is still flowing to this day. Cures and healings have taken place at Lourdes. The grotto before you is depicted these apparitions. It was the dream of Sister Flavia to construct the grotto. It was built 1 year before the Stations of the Cross were erected. The rock from which the grotto was made came from the New Ulm vicinity and was completed in 1903. In the past few years, much renovation and repairs have been made as a joint effort of the Diocese of New Ulm and the Knights of Columbus under the guidance of a Way of Cross committee. These repairs and renovations are paid for entirely by donations. And it says, if you wish to make a donation, a money box can be found at the entrance of the Way of the Cross. And I've made several donations. Or you can send donations to, and then there's the address. Fifth station. As they led him away, they laid hold of one Simon and Cyrenian, who was coming in from the fields. They put the crossbeam on Simon's shoulders for him to carry along behind Jesus. Luke 23:26. Sixth station. Tradition holds that a woman named Veronica wiped the face of Jesus, and the imprint of Jesus' face was left on the cloth. Veronica is really two Latin words, vera and icon, which means true image. The Gospels say nothing about this. Veronica's act of kindness is a tradition from very early times. Seventh station. The weakened Jesus falls again. Looking down the hill to the right, you can see the old retaining wall and the foundations of some of the farm buildings that were once part of St. Alexander and later Loretta's Hospital. I don't see any down there. I wonder. Unless that's where the blue stake is. But yeah, there was more down that way. As you proceed up the walk, you will see many varieties of wild woodland flowers. Early spring brings out the bloodroot flowered by Virginia waterleaf lilies of the valley, spikenard, columbine, phlox, and geraniums. At the end of June, there is a profusion of European bluebells and lilies, wood asters, snakeroot, and goldenrod put forth their blooms in the late summer. As you look to the right down the hillside, you will see part of today's hospital complex. It was in the location of the nearest building to the hill. That first hospital was built in 1881, a tornado devastated New Ulm. Several hundred people were injured and a dozen people were killed. This prompted the pastor of Holy Trinity Church, Father Alexander Berkhold, to build a hospital to care for the sick and injured. The hospital was named St. Alexander. The hospital had cows for milk and butter and gardens for fresh vegetables for the patients. The 8th station. Jesus turned to them and said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not wait for me. Wait for yourselves and for your children." Luke 23:28. And that's the retaining wall of the original church. It's still there. Ninth station. The exhausted Jesus falls yet another time. The 10th station. Then they crucified him and divided up his garments by rolling dice for them to see what each should take. Mark 15:24. Eleventh station. There they crucified him and two others with him, one on either side, and Jesus in the middle. John 19:18. 12th station. When Jesus took the wine, he said, "Now it is finished." Then he bowed his head and delivered over his spirit. John 19:30. 13th station. Then, having bought a linen shroud, Joseph took him down, wrapped him in the linen. Mark 15:46. That's what it is. Huh. Fourteenth station. I've come many times at many different times of the day, and there's always a glare. So I've been trying to get rid of the glare, but I apologize. Fourteenth station. Taking the body, Joseph wrapped it in fresh linen and laid it in his own new tomb, which had been hewn from the formation of rock. Matthew 27:59-60. This chapel is dedicated to the sorrowful mother of Jesus. The 7 sorrows of Mary are the prophecy of Simon, the flight into Egypt, the loss of the boy Jesus in the temple, the meeting of Jesus on the way to Calvary, the crucifixion of Jesus, and the taking down from the cross and the burial of Jesus. Whoa. Thank you so much for watching. Have an adventurous day. Bye for now.